Good morning, students. So today we are going to discuss about the last portion of our 10th unit, and in this we are going to discuss about electrophilic substitution reactions and polyhalogen compounds. Okay, so first of all, about electrophilic substitution reactions of haloarenes. Okay, now see, when we talk about haloarenes, then if we see the resonating structures, then we can see from the resonance phenomena that there is development of negative charge on the ortho and para positions. Okay, so it means since it is electrophilic substitution reaction, so it is there will be addition or substitution by electrophile. So electrophile is electron loving species. So electron loving species will be attracted towards these positions. So since electron density is more at ortho and para positions, so during this reaction the incoming electrophile will be attached at ortho or para position. Okay, now one more thing which comes into action during this is that if we talk about haloarenes, then this halo group is electronegative group. So because of more electronegativity, it shows minus I effect. Okay, so because of minus I effect, what happens? It has the tendency to withdraw the electrons towards itself. So because of that, the addition of electrophile at ortho and para positions, that becomes a little bit difficult. So it means whenever we have to perform this type of reaction, then there must be very good conditions for the addition of electrophile. Okay, so in normal conditions this will not occur because this minus I effect will retard the addition. Okay, so now let us start with this. In halogenation, what we have to do, we have to add the halogen in presence of a Lewis acid. So here if we take Lewis acid like ferric chloride and chlorine is to be added, then Cl group will be added as electrophile and there will be formation of ortho as well as para product. Okay, so in this type of reactions what we are going to see is that there is formation of ortho as well as para product. Okay, now let us talk about nitration. So in case of nitration, nitro group is the electrophile which will be added. So it is added when we take a mixture of nitric acid and sulfuric acid, both concentrated. Then what happens? This mixture provides NO2 group and that NO2 group is added in the ortho and para position. Okay, so it gets substituted after releasing H from that particular position. So we get ortho product as well as para product. Similarly, for sulfonation, we have to add sulfonic acid group. This SO3H group is called sulfonic acid group. So it is done when we heat the chlorobenzene with in the presence of concentrated sulfuric acid. So due to this, there is formation of ortho as well as para product. So that particular product will be more formed, or we will say that will be the major product which is more stable. So out of ortho and para, this para product is more stable, so that is formed more. Okay, now these are two more important reactions. One is called Friedel-Crafts alkylation and the other is called Friedel-Crafts acylation. In case of alkylation, alkyl group is to be added at the ortho and para positions. So what we have to take? We have to take a alkyl halide in presence of Lewis acid. Just like if you want to add CH3 group, then CH3Cl is to be taken in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3. So anhydrous AlCl3 is the Lewis acid. Okay, now similarly, if we have to add aceto group, then it will be termed as Friedel-Crafts acylation. So acyl group in general is RCO. RCO group is called acyl group in general. So here if we want to add RCO group, then we have to take acid chloride in presence of anhydrous AlCl3. So this CH3CO group will be added in the ortho and para position, and we will be getting chloro 2 chloro acetophenone or 4 chloro acetophenone. Okay, so in alkylation, alkyl group is to be substituted, and in case of acylation, acyl group is to be substituted. Now we have done Wurtz reaction earlier. Now here it is Wurtz fitting reaction. In case of Wurtz reaction, what was there? There were two molecules of alkyl halide and they were added in sodium, and there was formation of RR, means there was formation of alkane. Now in this case, what happens in Wurtz fitting reaction? We take one molecule as alkyl halide and the other molecule as aryl halide. Okay. Now halo group should be same in both the cases. They are heated in the presence of sodium, and dry ether is required, because if there is moisture, then there is formation of alkane also. This we have discussed earlier. So in the presence of dry ether, one alkyl halide and one aryl halide react with sodium, and there is formation of this type of alkyl substituted benzene. Okay, so if we have taken CH3Br and we are heating bromobenzene in presence of sodium, then there will be formation of toluene. R group will be CH3 group. Okay. Now one more thing comes, fitting reaction. Now see, in fitting reaction what we do, we take both aryl halides and we heat it with the sodium in the presence of dry ether. So there is formation of diphenyl. So these three reactions are related: Wurtz reaction, Wurtz fitting reaction, and fitting reaction. In case of Wurtz reaction, we take both the molecules as alkyl halides and we heat it with sodium in presence of dry ether. In case of Wurtz fitting, we take one alkyl halide and one aryl halide and we heat it with sodium in presence of dry ether. In case of fitting reaction, we take both the reactants as aryl halides and we heat it with sodium in the presence of dry ether. So these three reactions are interrelated. Now the question comes that since chlorine is electron withdrawing group, so even it is electron withdrawing group, then why do we find it as ortho and para directing in nature? Why the incoming electrophile gets attached at ortho and para position? Why is it so? So the answer is that when we take a haloarine, then two types of effects come into action. One is inductive effect and the other is resonance effect. Now see, if we talk about resonance effect, then we will be seeing that there is development of negative charges at ortho and para positions. Okay, so it means electron density is more at ortho and para positions. Now when there is addition of electrophile, then once it gets attached to the ring, then Cl plays its role, means inductive effect plays its role, and it tries to destabilize the intermediate carbocation formed. Okay, it tries to destabilize the intermediate carbocation, but its effect is less at the ortho and para positions and it is more at meta position. So what is the ultimate effect? Ultimate effect is that due to resonance effect, the ortho and para positions, they do not feel the more effect of inductive effect. Okay, so the overall thing is that the electrophile gets attached at ortho and para position because resonance effect is more at these positions. Okay, so inductive effect plays less role at these positions. Okay, so that is why there is formation of ortho and para products in this case. Okay, now we are going to discuss about some polyhalogen compounds. So very first polyhalogen compound is dichloromethane, or we say in general it is, in common system it is methylene chloride. So dichloromethane is used as a solvent, as a paint remover. Okay, and it is used as propellant in aerosols, and somewhere in few drugs manufacturing also it is used. Okay, now see, it is very good solvent for metal cleaning and finishing. Okay, where some metal work is there and we have to give it a proper finish, then we use this particular compound. Okay, now this compound is harmful for human beings as it reacts with, it directly attacks or it harms the CNS, central nervous system. Now see, if lower level of methylene chlorides in air, someone is exposed to lower levels of methylene chloride in air, then he may have slightly problem with hearing or vision. Okay, and if in case of higher levels are exposed, if someone is exposed to higher levels of this, then it may result in dizziness, nausea, tingling and numbness in the fingers and toes. Okay, so it means it is harmful for human tissues. Okay, now in human beings, direct skin contact may cause burning sensation or redness in the skin. Okay, and in case it comes in the contact of eyes, then it may burn the cornea also, so it is dangerous for human beings. Okay, direct touch of this should be avoided. Now the next thing is chloroform. It is a very good solvent. Okay, now previously it was used as anesthetic, but it was harmful. Okay, see, previously it was used as anesthetic, but now what is used, some other substances are used which are less harmful or which do not cause harm for human tissues. Okay, so nowadays it is not used as common anesthetic. Okay, okay, now see, chronic chloroform exposure, it may cause damage to the liver. Okay, now see, when chloroform comes in contact with air, then it forms phosgene. Phosgene is a highly poisonous gas. Phosgene is a highly poisonous gas. Okay, now see, if we see the reaction, then what happens? This is chloroform. When it reacts with oxygen in presence of light, then there is formation of phosgene. So COCl2 is phosgene gas. It is very much poisonous gas. So chloroform, it when reacts with air, then it forms phosgene. So what we do when we have to keep it in a bottle, then two things are to be kept in mind. Very first thing, it should be stored in very dark bottles so that light does not enter, and second, it should be away from the air, means there should be such filling that there is no air in the bottle. So it should be filled up to brim so that there is no air with which it can react. Now the next thing is iodoform. Now see, earlier it was used as antiseptic. Okay, and its antiseptic properties are because it will produce free iodine. Okay, so it was used, but it is having some foul smell. Its smell is not good, so because of this disadvantage, it was discarded to be used as antiseptic. Okay, now the next compound is carbon tetrachloride. It is also one of the major solvent. Okay, now it is produced in large quantities for use in the manufacture of refrigerants and propellants for aerosol. It is also used as feedstock in the synthesis of chlorofluorocarbons. So for chlorofluorocarbon synthesis, it is also very much useful, and it is used for manufacturing pharmaceutical drugs. So many in drugs formation also it is used, and it is a very good solvent, as I told you. Now see, until the mid 1960s, it was also used as a cleaning fluid in industry also, and as degreasing agent also in homes, as spot remover or in fire extinguishers. But after some time, it was seen there were few evidences that exposure to carbon tetrachloride causes liver cancer in humans. Okay, it may cause dizziness, lightheadedness, nausea, vomiting. Okay, now see, it can also cause permanent damage to nerve cells. In severe cases, these effects can lead rapidly to stupor, coma. One can go to coma also, unconsciousness, or even death also. So exposure to CCl4 can make the heartbeat irregularly or heartbeat may stop. Okay, the chemical may irritate the eyes on contact. When carbon tetrachloride is released into the air, it rises to the atmosphere and depletes the ozone layer. So see, it is one of the constituent which may cause depletion of ozone layer. Okay, so its use is avoided, because if we are using it, then it is resulting in so many problems, so its use is also avoided. Okay, now the next type of polyhalogen compounds is freons. Okay, now see, they are also known as chlorofluorocarbons. Okay, chlorofluorocarbon compounds of methane and ethane are collectively known as freons. Okay, they are extremely stable, they are unreactive, they are non-toxic, they are non-corrosive, and they can be easily liquefied also. Now see, freon 12, this is one of the most common freon in industrial use. It is manufactured from tetrachloro it is manufactured from tetrachloromethane by Schwarz reaction. So Schwarz reaction there was formation of freons or chlorofluorocarbons. Now these are usually produced for aerosol propellants, refrigeration and air conditioning. Okay, by 1974 total freon production in the world was about 2 billion pounds annually. Most freons, even that used in refrigeration, eventually makes its way into the atmosphere, where it diffuses unchanged into the stratosphere. In stratosphere, freon is able to initiate radical chain reaction that can upset the natural ozone balance. So it is also one of the major constituent which may result in ozone layer depletion. So freons, they are also very much responsible for depletion of ozone layer. Now the most important is DDT, dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane. Now see, DDT, the first chlorinated organic insecticide, was originally prepared in 1873, but it was not until 1939 that Paul Muller of GG Pharmaceuticals in Switzerland discovered the effectiveness of DDT as an insecticide. So till 1939 it was not considered as insecticide, but then a scientist discovered that it can be used as insecticide. So that scientist was awarded Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1948 for his discovery. Now the use of DDT increased enormously on a worldwide basis after World War II. After World War II, it was used worldwide because of its effectiveness against the mosquitoes that spread malaria and lice that carry typhus. However, the problems related to extensive use of DDT began to appear in the late 1940s. So see, previously it was very good insecticide, but after its excessive use, near about in the years 1940, we came to know that it is also very much harmful. So what we discovered during 1940s, many species of insects developed resistance to DDT, and it was also discovered to have a high toxicity towards fish. So for aquatic life also there was problem. Okay, and the chemical stability was the chemical stability of DDT and its fat solubility compounded the problem. Now see, it was fat soluble and it was chemically very much stable, so this resulted in increase of problems. Now see, DDT is not metabolized very rapidly by animals. It cannot be broken down by animals. Instead, it is deposited and stored in the fatty tissues. It gets stored in the fatty tissues of animals. If ingestion continues at a steady rate, DDT builds up within the animal over time. The use of DDT was banned in the US in 1973, although it is still used in some other parts of the world. Now see, this is very much harmful, so it was banned in 1973, but somewhere in few places people are still using it because they don't have any other substance which can be used as its replacement. Okay, now see, this is the formula of DDT. Now see here, this is carbon, so it is chain of two carbon atoms. One carbon is attached with three prefixes, 3 Cl atoms, and the other carbon is attached with two prefixes. These two prefixes are parachlorophenyl group. Okay, so accordingly it is named. Okay, so these were the different compounds of haloalkanes. Now these are the home assignments which you have to complete on the basis of this. Okay, thank you.